Oh, wow, it's so big and hard. Jeez. Oh, it's hot too. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to go over one of the most fun guns that I've ever shot. For the uninitiated among you, this is an AK pattern rifle. Stemming, of course, from the original AK-47, there's a bunch of different types of AKs now. A gun with communist origins we have come to love and cherish and bring into our homes, simply just because they are fantastic firearms. The only good thing to come out of communism. Now, this particular rifle here is an AK-101, which is a 16-inch barrel AK pattern rifle chambered in 5.56. Yes, 5.56, a NATO cartridge in a communist rifle. What a time to be alive. Now, why on earth would there be a rifle that is traditionally chambered in something like 7.62x39 chambered in 5.56? Well, because why not? No, the real answer for that is because as the theater of war changes and modernizes, so do the weapons and tools that everybody uses. Historically, it's been proven that the 5.56 is just kind of a better overall performing cartridge than something like a 7.62x39. While a 7.62x39 has plenty of ass behind it to do lots of damage, it doesn't have the stability of the 5.56 and the range of a 5.56. It's also a heavier round, so soldiers would be able to carry less individual rounds for the same amount of weight as something like a 5.56. Now, to the average Joe, like you and me, that probably doesn't mean much, so why should a civilian be interested in an AK chambered in 5.56? Well, I will tell you, because when you combine the already smooth shooting, long stroke gas piston system of an AK platform with the very controllable cartridge of a 5.56, you get a gun that is so unbelievably easy to shoot that there's probably going to be Call of Duty YouTubers making cringy ass thumbnails about it. And I mean that, seriously. This is the smoothest shooting, lowest recoiling, just overall easiest to shoot rifle I have ever shot. Now, this particular rifle is a Palmetto State Armory AK-101. I know bringing up PSA is kind of a polarizing topic. Me personally, I love them to death. PSA is all about arming the average civilian that doesn't have tons of money to throw away. Are Palmetto State Armory guns as good as the really expensive guns? Is this as good as a Meridian AK? Absolutely not. Is it good enough to get you by and have a shit ton of fun with? Yes, it is. And hopefully by the end of this video, I can convince you to go out and get an AK and 5.56 because they are just an absolute blast. All right, so just to show you guys how easy this thing is to control, I'm going to shoot a quick bill drill in the head of this target over here. And I should also mention, I obviously have a can on the end of this gun. That makes it even easier to control having that extra weight on the end, but I can promise you from experience that this gun is still ridiculously flat shooting without a suppressor on the end. All right. The problem with shooting suppressed, the timer only picked up one shot. So I did not perfectly take into account my height over bore, so a lot of these are down lower. But you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, pretty good little group there. That 101 is just so ridiculously easy to shoot. All right, we're gonna go ahead and run that again. I took the suppressor off so that we can actually get an accurate time on this one. This time I'm just gonna go in the top half of the alpha zone. All right, 6 shots in a 1.35. Okay, so I was kind of aiming for up here to try to get the height overboard to come down here, but you can see it got away from me. I think I actually threw these 2 Charlies and just a couple of these, so not a great group. That was actually a much worse group than up here, probably because I took the suppressor off. I'm really used to shooting that gun with a suppressor, so taking it off just bounces a little bit more than I was used to. It's no excuse, I still suck. All right, so you just failed epically at a bill drill on camera. So what do you do to recover from that? Well, obviously you mag dump 10 rounds into the target to make up for it. Wow, I feel better. 10 rounds in 177, if the camera can pick that up. All right, while I'm letting this can and gun cool down a little bit, I want to talk about one more reason why I think having a 5.56 AK is awesome, particularly right now. So if any of you out there own an AK, like myself, that's chambered in something like 7.62 or 5.45x39, then I'm sure you're painfully aware that 2 years ago, was it 2 years ago? I don't know. The whole last Biden era was just a blur for me. I don't really remember much, but I do remember when surplus 7.62x39 stopped being cheap. I will never forget that day. And that is one of the biggest reasons that I decided to go with a 5.56 AK. Now, I'm a firm believer that you should be the kind of gun owner with some variety. You shouldn't just own like 10 different ARs where 7 of them serve the same purpose and are basically the same thing. But of course, I think you should do more than that. You should get familiar with different platforms like the AK platform. I did a video on my other PSA AK in 7.62 a couple years ago, and I talked about that in that video, saying that if you want to be a better shooter, it's good to get time on different platforms, to familiarize yourself with different platforms, not just because I think it teaches you better control, because every platform recoils a little bit different, behaves a little bit different, but it also gets you familiar with different manual of arms, like how the safety on an AK works, how you charge a safety, how you charge the AK, how you reload it, things like that. That just broadens your overall skill with firearms and makes you a better shooter overall. So the reason I went on that tangent is just to come back around to saying, when you have an AK in 5.56, you can still get tons of time on an AK platform, but you have a much more accessible and affordable source of feed for your gun, being 5.56 instead of imported Russian surplus. Now, I know there are other companies, American companies, making 7.62x39. I don't know about 5.45. I wish they would. But if you think that I am buying brass case 7.62x39, you are higher than giraffe lips. So if you're an AK aficionado and you love shooting AKs, but you can't cope with the Russian ammo ban, 5.56 AK. Just get a 5.56 AK, a 101, a 102. You'll be a happy guy, I promise. All right, so now with my absolutely incredible, massive YouTube budget, we're going to be using a rock on the hill up there to display the, I guess you could say, combat accuracy of this rifle. Now, from where I'm at, that rock is about 125 yards. I know it doesn't look that way on the camera just because this lens flattens things out a lot, but I used the rangefinder on it. It's about 125 yards, and I just have my EOTech here on this AK. So we're just gonna shoot a couple rounds and see how easy it is to hit that about person-sized rock. All right, here we go. Okay, that was 5 shots, and hopefully the microphone could pick it up, but those were all hits. Little pro tip there for anybody who doesn't have steel you can shoot long range. Big rocks make a really satisfying thud when you hit them, so you can tell when you hit them. Just make sure you're in a very safe place to be shooting long distance at rocks where you know there's no people or cattle or protesters around. All right, boys and girls, that is about all I've got for you in today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys have any experience with an AK in 5.56, and also let me know why you love Palmetto State Armory, because we all love PSA. Oh, brash just hit me in the head. Also, make sure you go check out the other videos on my channel and let me know why I am not qualified to teach you guys about guns, because you all seem to love to remind me of that in the comments. But with all that being said, I do appreciate you guys watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.